view option ምትላለች ላይ exit full screen ኔትወርክ ውስጥ ያሉት ልጆች አንተ ፈታ ይላሉ ታውቃለህ
Okay. Hello everyone. Today we will have lectures about the network information security. So before these lectures, I want to introduce myself. My name is Cheng Wen. This is my email address. If you have some questions, you can send the email to me. Okay, I worked in Wuhan Research Institute of the Post and Telecommunications. I majored in the software engineering and data networks. And so today we will have lectures about the network information securities. Okay, this is the main content of these lectures. So first, we will discuss the development status of network information securities, and the next we will discuss the letter and the content of the network information security. The third, we will discuss some problems, securities problems and threats, and in the following, I want to introduce some network securities attackers methods. Okay, let we go to the point. Network securities consist of the adoption of some policies, and this is to prevent and monitor and authorize the access and the misuse or delay of computer network and network accessible resources. So users can obtain information from authorized access by different methods. Okay, there have some threats from the network point of views, and there are some security risks at the different levels. So in these ways, we will show some different threats, and so we can see the first, let's say the mobile terminals. I think somebody knows that with the development of the mobile communications networks, everyone have some mobile phones. So in these ways, the second-hand mobile has a largest market. So second-hand mobile trading process users prevents information is illegal, recovered and steered. And another, some operating systems. So systems vulnerabilities of the system itself exist malicious programs, and the systems contains mandatory pre-installed software. And also, I think someone knows that this is pre-installed software is very difficult to install. And then another, some communications networks in nowadays. In nowadays, we will have I think someone knows that we will have the many new networks, communication networks. So in these ways, when we get into the new when we enter into the new place, we also use our, for example, mobile phones or laptops or another's mobile terminals access networks. But sometimes, I think somebody knows that, we will use the list free Wi-Fi networks. This Wi-Fi network often can sift users' information. And this is the communications networks. And then another content applications, malicious plus within the applications, and some developers using the tool inoperated. So in this way, we will have the many threats from the networks. Okay, and I think somebody knows that in the network field, the computer virus development history in this network in recent years. So in these ways, 没有放映吗？哎。 So in these ways, we will have the million different computer virus. So in these ways, we will have the million new computer virus development in history in recent years. I think somebody knows that CIH virus and Lovebug virus and SQM wormkin and the pendant burning instances and tolerate horses and the super virus. Okay, I think somebody knows that. I think somebody knows the list different computer virus, and I want to show some things about this. This one, pendant burning instances. Okay, this is instances using all of the materials web disk ARP smoothing and network sharing communication itself, and distractions of the users data and the formations of the botnet. So this is emerging in our countries, and then others, and I think somebody knows that tolerate horse and then others computers virus, and in nowadays we will have the new computer virus. If you have some interest in this, we can do some research. Okay, and with the development of the mobile communications networks, we will have the many new instance of the mobile phones. And the famous one, for example, the instance of the mobile phones links. We can see this is according to the 2014 first half of the mobile phones permanent security report. This report data displays that 92.8% users accustomed to store their preference in smartphone, and 74.1% users deposed to desktop or laptop, U-disk, mobile hard disk, tablet computers, and storage of the more previous data respectively, and about 14.4 or 13.28%. So cell phone preference also suffered a big bounce. The new career IQ spywares involved global 1.4 billion mobile phones. Multiple hacking led the new enterprise crashes collapse. And Edison Chen Young's model's girlfriend in our countries lost her phones and the coursing and lost her phones and causing the second colors of the sex photos colors, and prevents links continues to stimulate the public's sensitive love. So in these ways, and then another career IQ spywares exposed centuries newspapers closed, and new empire variation. The news of the world were known for its disclosure and growth, and have closure and closed at their intercept phone information for insider news. And this is world-shaking hacking. And another X and covers is hacking software sold public, and X and covers not only them, even dropped their others calls and text messages, also send secret links, detections, SMS, and delete the send record to achieve the global of the hidden fees absorption. And others, different countries, I think different countries also have the list. Because, for example, let's say show the list picture, list PowerPoint show the U.S. Centers into intelligence agents of website was hacked, and also lot in U.S. and also in our countries we also had the list. For examples, in the morning of the. I remember in the morning of the August 25, 2013, in our countries, Chinese website was the root domain name of the .cn stopped service for about 4 hours during to the cyber attackers. Not only this, and also I think everyone knows this. Do you know this? Prison program. No one knows? Slow down. The movie. Okay, for example, it's a mass electronic surveillance data mining program launched in 2007 by the National Security Agency. Okay, and we often call this is the NASA, and the program is known officially by the U.S. EY-ICT. American intelligence institutions conducted data mining from the American internet companies and analyze the individual content, methods, and actions based on the voice, radios, pictures, and emails, files, and collections information. The surveillance involved different types. Some message, emails, instant message, radios, pictures, and data service, and voice chat, and file transforms, and radio configurations, and login times, and social network data. So PRISM include we often said two surveillance programs. The first is the monitoring and the surveillance of the telephone call record of the public, and the second is the surveillance of the cyber activities of the public. So in this ways, we often said that different countries after 2013 and different countries also pay much attention to in this field. So I also think, just now I said that in our countries also For example, in our countries, the .cn domains names, the whole DNS nice of the .cn root domains field, and which is led to the field of the cyber attackers, and it's about 4 hours field. And after that, confirmed by the CNNIC, the National Domain Names Resolutions Node suffered a delay of service DNS attackers, which was the largest in the scale and since the beginning of the history, and which resulted in the access delay or interruptions and impacts on the domain names analysis of some website. And just now we said that after PRISM program exposed, some countries can begin pay much attention to in this field. And also in our countries, we often said that we will pay much attention to in this field. And cyber security has assented to the significant national strategy in the different countries. And I want to show some things in our countries. In our countries, I think somebody knows that in our countries, our topist leader, Xi Jinping, he said, low cybersecurity means low national security. Low information means no modernization. This is selected from the speech addressed by Xi Jinping, General Secretary of the Communist Party of China and President of China, and Chairman of the Central Military Commissions of the Communist Party of China, and the leaders of the Central Internet Security and Information leading groups. In the first meeting of the list groups in 2014 February, the Xi Jinping just like said that this is the leaders of these groups, and the central government has set up the Central Internet Security and Information Leading Group. The degree of the development regarding the information technologies and the industries determined the information's development levels. We should highlight the independent innovation in core technologies and infrastructure construction, and we should raise our capabilities to acquire, process, and utilize the information, as well as safeguards information security, and to establish the powerful cyber state. And we should own our solid technologies, and also we should be equipped with a high quality talent teams for the cybersecurity and information, and we should act positively in conducting bilateral and multilateral international internet exchange and cooperation, and we should formulate the comprehensive in development strategies regarding research of the information technology and cyber security and cyber technology. And also, this is some things in our countries. I think somebody lost that. Our countries, we were government and we top leaders were pay much attention to in this field, and also we often said that the cybersecurity and information is a whole with the two wings and two driving wheel, and we should conduct unified planning and unified deployment and unified advancement and unified implementations. And this group should sometimes we in our countries should give play to the roles in centralized and unified leadership and coordinate significant problems and regarding cybersecurity and the information of the different sectors, formulate the national development strategy and some plannings and some policies. So in these ways, we were just now we show something in our countries. So in these ways, I want to show something in another countries. For example, cybersecurity has assented to the national strategy. By 2014, more than 14 countries have formulated the national strategy to secure cyberspace. The U.S. has promulgated for over 14 documents relations to the cybersecurity, and the U.S. has set up a national network office in the White House and appointed a chief network officers who is directly responsible to the president. And in February 2014, President Obama announced the start of the U.S. cyber security framework. Okay, another EU's on the February 19th, Morocco's and the chancellors of Germany discussed with the president of the France and about the establishment of the European independent internet. They plan to bypass the US from the strategic level in order to harness the data security, and 3 leading institutions of the EU have confirmed that they will accept the EU so have confirmed that they will accept the European data protections reformed plan at the end of the 2014. In Japan, in June 2013, Japan introduced the cybersecurity strategy and expressly proposed the goal to harness the state of cybersecurity. India. In May 2013, India introduced the National Cybersecurity Strategy with the goal of realizing a safe and reliable computer environment. Establishing a solid and reliable national cybersecurity system has become a must for every country. So, in the rest part, after this, we want to show the another countries the stations. Okay. Next, I want to show some things about the hackers. Okay. This is a hacker and its arm. So in this way, I want to show something about this. This is the, I think someone knows that. This is the world's leading hackers given military. He is when he was very young, he liked to play computers, and he liked to play games to reach the expert levels. And when he was 30 years old, he liked radio activities and starting with the fans or of the world contact. And also write some computers programs, simple and practicals, and soon cracked the U.S. Pacific telephones companies. I think someone knows that. This place to change the user password and change the user's phone numbers, and mischief and central FBI agent. Computer information tracker machines was discovered for the first time, was arrested. And after in 2002, to be free, he will be to be free, and but also launched selling some book, The Art of the Deceptions Controlling the Human Element of Securities. He said that the best protective measures make up the people set up the firewall. And today's current metering is a professional's network securities concentrate. And another is Robert Steppenmolles. He was born in 1965. His father is the computer securities expert of Bell Laboratory. So in this way, he is very interested in computers when he was very young. He had his own account. And when he was 16 years old, he found the unique loophole and obtained super password of the laboratory and reminded his fathers. And when he entered Harvard University, a great change with machine for single-user systems. He could read Unix manuals more than 2,000 passages for hours. He's also the student most proficient in the Unix. The school made him a specialized. But in October in 1988, trying to write a harmless virus as much as possible to spread the infections. And on November 2, virus begins to spread, but running a desktop machine is paralyzed. So in his ways, curating his associate profession at some institute of the technologies, associate profession, professor. And another is this beautiful girl in Cracker. I see the Chinese girl. She is specialized in teaching people to use the Cracker software and hacking tools received information time interview. And I think someone knows that in English field it has a few female. So this girl is also she's like to teach people to some hacking tools. In our countries, in crackers, this is a QQ space. This is like QQ. It's the QQ tension. QQ is in our country is instant information applications. In her characters QQ space. Visible in daily record. She released a lot about the crackers and inventions of the technologies as basic technologies. But from the time to time to release some free small software for users to download, and such as QQ login password, encryptions, algorithms, analyze, and QQ log writers. Some parts of its password removed tools, of course, also a note of the person her deception. Okay, let's say just now we will show some things about the development status of network informations, and also we will show that in nowadays some different countries and in different countries we said that the cybersecurities enhanced assented the national strategy, has assented to the national strategy, and the different countries also has a different countries cyber security is defined. And so in the after these lectures, I hope you can discuss this field. You can show your computer, your countries, the network securities constructions development, and in your countries, the cyber security is defined. Okay, and let's see the first one. And another is the lateral and content of the network information security. So in this ways, first I want to introduce what is the information security. Information security means protecting information and information systems from unauthorized access, use, disclosures, disruptions, modification, checked and approved inspection, recording, or destruction. And information security is concerned with the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of the data, regardless of the forms the data may take, electronic, print, or other forms. Okay, so in this way, we often said that information system. This is the information system. Information system composed in three main parts: hardware, software, communications, and with the purpose of the help identified and apply information security industrial standards as method of the protection and prevention through some different layers: physical and personal and organizational. Essentially, procedures or policies are implemented to tell person, administrators and users and the operators how to use the production to ensure the information security with the organizations. And information security that has three attributes: confidentiality, integrity, availability. The first, confidentiality. Confidentiality is a term used to prevent the disclosure of information and to authorize the individual or systems. For example, credit card purchasing on the internet and someone looking at your computer screen while confidential data is displaying and giving out confidential information over the telephone is a branch of the confidentiality if the corner is not authorized to have the information. And integrity in information security. Integrity means that the data cannot be modified and detectably. Integrity is violated when a message is actively modified in transit. An information security system typically provide message integrity in addition to data confidentiality. And the third attribute is availability. for all information systems to serve its purpose, the information must be available when it is needed, and high availability. And so in this way, these systems aim to remain available to all times, preventing service disruptions during to the power outages, hardware failures, and system upgrades relate high availability systems. We want to remain available at all times. So we will have some risk management. The objectives of the information system security program is to protect an organization's information by reducing the risk of the loss of the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of that information to an acceptable level. So a good information security program must involve risk management. So in this way, we often say that information and the network security skill, they want to have we can express the 5 different aspects. Okay, the first is account coming. Next one is account takeaway. The next one is account understand, and account change, and account run away. It means that account coming. It means that if this user is an authorized access, we count list users can't access this network, and account takeaway is the not to count saved and store some informations, and account understand. It means that we will do some encryption, and account change. It means that we will modified. And account run away means that this is not we can shift. We can sometimes it means that we can account run away. We can check with it. Okay. So in these ways, I hope you can remember the information and the network security skills. The count coming, count take away, count understand, count change, count run away. And then another, it's securities program and threats. So in these ways, the network has monitoring different major programs. For example, cyber attackers and attack detections and prevention ensued, and the securities vulnerability and the securities countermeasures programs, and the information securities ensued, and security programs within the systems, and the data backup and the recovery ensued, disaster recovery ensued. So in these ways, network faced many security threats. For example, information disclosures. Information is linked or disclosure to law-authorized entities. Damage to the integrating of the information, data is carried out and authorized deletion, modification, or distractions and loss. And the third, denial of service, information or other resources on the legal access is deletion, blocked, and lawful use of unauthorized access. A resource is non-authorized person or an authorized use, and having using a variety of the possible legal or illegal means to steal system information resource and sensitive information. And business flow analysis, let's say, the long-term monitoring of the systems by using the statistic method, and which found valuable information and nodes and passing deceptions through communications systems to impersonate legitimate users of the intelligence users, and most hackers are using fake attacker and Trojan horse. An array of the software contains no harmful block, and when it is executed and or destroying the user's security, which applications is called Trojan horse, and computer virus. A computer system is running against infections and functions to achieve the problems and physical inventions, and to bypass the physical control of the intruders to gain access to the system. Not only, and also we will have another security threats. So I hope you can know that. In 1980s, a computer cracked a 3-character password within 1 billion. And in 1990, a team of the computers cracked a 56-character password within 1 day. And in 2004, a computer virus infected 1 billion computers within 1 hour. Okay, it's developed very fast. So, in these ways, in nowadays, there had people like to do some research in this. Okay, and in these fields, we will have some technologies concept: computer virus, network worms, and Trojan horse. And these host file, a copy itself, and executables. And the network worms no host. It means that there is a self-contained and copies itself. And Trojan horse also has a no host, and does not copy itself. Imposter programs. Okay, if you have some interesting, we can discuss some differences. So in this way, just now we said that with the development of the networks, in nowadays, the network has faced many threats. So in this way, some people have the problems. Why do we have this problem in nowadays? For example, I want to explain something. For example, software company in nowadays rushes products to the customer's market. They have no programs should go online before its times. And in nowadays, they have used some recycled old code to reduce the development times, but perpetuated old flows. So in these ways, I think somebody knows that in nowadays, we will use the smartphones. So in these days, we will use the smartphones. So there has many new application and software applications. These software companies also had some old flows and then others. So in this way, these companies often said that in this field, we will have the many more reasons, more important fields, important than security. They considered the software market share is more important than the software securities, and the interface the design is more important than security, and the new features designs are more important than the security, and the easy of use is more important than security. So in this way, they want to solve these problems before the solve the securities of the product. And so more on the horse, a Turing horse exposed computer post, letting its friends enter. And once the thief gets into your house, he opens a rare windows for her partners. So in this way, we want to show some things. This is why only to give some reasons, but in fact, they will have another element to why we will have these problems. Okay, we have a rest. The next, we want to talk something about the network security attack method. And in the last of the these lectures, I hope you can show your computers network securities networks constructions, and you can show in your countries you will face some network securities problems, and you can show the development of your country's network. Okay, then we have a rest break.
ኢንጂነር ስመኘው አብላት ወይ እንትሩ
Okay, my friend, have a break. Thank you.
Recording stopped.